Hello people, this is Dr. Wang here recording. In this new video clip, I'm going to introduce the combinations of different options and how to use such strategy to speculate in the foreign exchange market. Well, just a review of what we learned before. A option buyer, okay, will purchase the call options if they expect foreign exchange to appreciate, okay, and if you think the foreign exchange is going to depreciate, you would just purchase the put option. So the call option gives the buyer the right to buy at a particular strike price, and if the option is exercised, then it will be accessed at this strike price, and then the buyer would need to sell the foreign exchange at a spot rate. So definitely they want the spot rate to be higher than the strike. So they will not purchase the call option if they don't think the spot rate will go higher than the strike. So basically it's built upon an expectation of the appreciation of the foreign currency. And for the put option, when the put option is exercised, definitely the buyer will sell at the strike price, and they want the expected return. They want the expected spot rate to be lower than the strike they could sell. Okay, so the call option gives you the chance to make money when the spot rate is higher, and put option gives the chance to make money when the spot rate is lower. And also you can be on the seller side of options. We call it sell options or short options, or write options or create options. So if you write a call option, basically you're expecting the foreign exchange to depreciate. And if you write a put option, you're expecting the foreign exchange to appreciate. For more details and exercises, we have done that before. And how do you profit? Well, if you are a option writer, then you will collect a premium. If you're option buyer, then you will always receive premium. And also the profit will contingent on the spot rate compared to the strike price. And the buyer of the option, who has the right, will always choose to access the options when the option is in the money. That is, for call option, spot rate is higher than the strike. For put option, the spot rate is lower than strike. So here is one example. You have a contract size of 1,000 British pound, and the strike price is $1.5 per pound, and premium is $0.2 per pound. So you can ignore the size for the moment, and you should see that the profit per pound really depends on where the spot price is. Okay, if spot rate is lower than 1.5, the buyer should not exercise the option. Then the buyer just recognize a profit or a loss at a negative premium. If the spot rate is greater than the strike, then the buyer would choose to exercise it and make a profit of the spot minus strike minus the premium. And for put option, the premium would be a little bit different, and you will see that if the spot rate gets higher, then the put option is out of money. There's no exercise of put, and the profit would just be the negative premium. And if the spot rate is lower than the strike, the put option is in the money, then the put option buyer would exercise it. The profit would be strike minus spot minus the premium. And we have done the Excel demonstration for that, and in your homework, you can earn 10% extra credit if your contingent graph, if you add this contingent graph created by Excel. So this is the profit contingent on the spot rate. So for call option, this is for a call option, the spot rate gets higher, the option buyer makes more money. And for put option, when the spot rate gets lower, the put option buyer makes more money. So here it comes to a concept called a break-even. So what is a break-even point? A break-even basically means no profit or zero profit. You do not have a loss, you do not have a gain. You just make zero profit. And based on that, you're going to solve for the spot rate. And you're going to answer that at what spot rate you are going to have zero profit, you're gonna be break even. So for a call option, the profit takes this formula. The profit equals to the spot minus strike minus the premium when the call option is exercised. You force the profit to zero, and then you solve for the spot rate. Okay, so you can see the spot rate would be strike plus premium. Okay, so if the spot is greater than that break-even point, then you would make a positive profit. If the spot rate falls below that, you would make a negative profit. And then you use the same idea to solve for the break-even of a put option. You'll equalize zero to the put option's profit formula, which is a strike minus spot minus premium. Then you solve for this spot rate. So this equation gives that the spot rate equals to the strike minus premium. So if the spot rate is less than this break-even point or strike minus premium, you profit from the put option is positive. Assume you are the buyer. If the spot is greater than the strike minus premium break-even point, then your profit would be negative. Well, here's the thing. In this volatile exchange market, we're not sure whether the currency is going up or going down. We don't know whether it's going to appreciate or depreciate. So does that mean we cannot profit from it? So definitely you can profit from it. You can combine options together. So this is called a currency straddle. Long means you buy two options, and short means you sell two options. So in this long currency straddle, you buy both call option and put option. And these two options are at the same strike price, at the same expiration date, and the size is the same. And you can profit from a currency with a high volatility. How so? So right here, you will see the profit contingent curve based on the future spot rate. And you will see that if the spot rate gets very low, below 1.0, you would make a positive profit. Or when the spot rate gets very high, above 1.1, you also make profit. If the spot rate stays between 1 to 1.1, which is relatively stable, you would lose money. And again, there's a down limit of your loss. It's just the premium you pay to buy the options. Okay, here is an example. Let's see, you have two options, a call and a put on euros, and the call premium is 3 cents, and the put option premium is 2 cents. They both have the same strike price, and you have the contract size of 62,500 euros. So the long straddle strategy would require you to purchase two premiums, so you always pay the two premiums, which add up to 5 cents. And how do you find the profit at a given spot rate? To long the straddle, so you have to consider three situations. One is the spot rate is less than the strike, another is greater than the strike, the third is equal to strike. I have to say that when the spot rate is equal to the strike price, that's not break even. Okay, this is not break even. Break even happens when the profit is zero. But when the spot rate equals to the strike price, you don't have a zero profit. Not in this case. So if the spot rate is less than the strike, so when the spot rate goes too low, then the put money is in the put option is in the money. The call option is out of the money. So you access the put, you don't access the call. So the profit would be the money you make from the put option, okay, which is a strike minus spot. Definitely this is a positive, minus the two premiums. In another situation, if spot rate gets greater than the strike, so that basically tells you when the spot rate gets too high, the put option is out of money, the call option is in the money, you don't access the put, you access the call, and the profit would be the spot minus strike, and again, you always pay the two premiums. And so in this case, your profit, not necessarily above zero, but definitely is higher than 2 premiums. Okay, the negative 2 premiums, just because the spot minus strike is a positive. So if this is the case, spot rate equals to strike. So both options are at the money, so no action necessary, and your profit would just be the negative 2 premiums. And how do you solve for the break even? You will see in this chart there are 2 break even points. So once again, the break even gives a 0 profit. So right here, this horizontal axis stands for 0 profit. Right here, you get a 1 break even, that is 0 profit. And here's a positive profit, here's a negative profit. And you have another break even point, it's right here when the spot rate is 1.1. And how do you solve for the break even points? So you have 2 break even points. When the spot rate gets greater than the strike, you have 1. When the spot rate is less than the strike, you have another. So you need to solve for the spot rate again when you force the profit equal to 0. So down here again, your formula for profit actually changed from a spot minus strike to strike minus spot. And again, you're gonna force the profit to 0 and solve for the spot. So spot rate for this one is a strike plus 2 premiums, and spot rate down here is a strike minus 2 premiums. So for this higher, okay, this is a higher break even, strike plus 2 premiums, the spot rate has to be higher in order to earn positive profit. And for the lower break even, the spot rate has to be lower than this break even in order to earn a profit. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, just to get back to this chart, and you will see here's 1 break even point, here's another break even point. If spot rate is higher than the bigger break even points, you make money, or the spot rate is lower than the smaller break even points, you also make money. Okay, to short a currency straddle, you do the exact opposite. In order to buy the 2 options, you write 2 options. You write a call, you write a put, and your profit would be exactly the profit of a buying a call and buying a put combined. So that also means if your profit of a write a straddle or short a straddle is the negative of the profit of buying a straddle. So here is a chart I create. So the blue curve is the profit for buying a straddle, and the red curve is a profit for short a straddle. You can also do Excel demonstration, but I'd rather leave it to the end of this class. And here we have another options combination strategies. It's called a strangle. You long a strangle, again, it's the same as straddle when you buy a call option and put option together, but the difference here is the 2 options have a different strike prices. So usually the call strike price is greater than the put strike price because call option give the right to buy and put option give the right to sell. So if you can buy at a higher strike, so this basically tells that the price you pay to buy from a call option should be higher than the price you receive from a selling in a put option. If that's not the case, let's say if this is violated, first of all, this is the true, this is the euro case. If this is violated, that means call strike is lower than put strike, so the price you buy at is lower than the price you sell at. So that's the arbitrage opportunity. That's the free money on the table, and that's not allowable to individual investors like you and me, because the dealers would just arbitrage it away and leave no table for us. And here is an example of a currency strangle. There's a call premium, a put premium, and the 2 options again are at different strike prices. So if you try to calculate the profit of longing and a strangle, you have 3 situations. One, the spot rate is greater than the call strike, given that call strike is a higher limit. Another is the spot rate is lower than the put strike, and the put strike is lower than the call strike, so that's the lower limits of the two. Or the spot rate just to fall in between. So if the first situation holds, then call option is in the money, you don't exercise it. The put option is out of money, you don't exercise it. The second situation implies that the call option is out of money, you don't exercise it. Put option is in the money, you exercise it. Okay, and the third situation would make you do nothing because both options are out of money, so you let both expire. So here is an exercise, and we have five different spot rates, and you will need to calculate the profit from a call under different spot rates, and also profit from the put option under different spot rates. And here are the results, the net profit when you combine both. And you are taking a long position. You are a buyer of both options. So you can pause right here for like 10 minutes and try to get 10 numbers right here and then verify whether the net profit I put here is correct or not. Okay, to calculate the break-even point of a strangle, all right, so you have two break-even points. The first is from the situation of a spot rate gets greater than the call strike, and the second is less than the put strike. So again, it's just the same as we saw for the spot rate for the strangle for the straddle. Then you put the profit equal to 0 and solve for the spot rate. So the spot rate here would be the call strike plus the two premiums, and spot rate right here would be put strike minus the two premiums. What you see here are two break-even points, and one is higher one, which is the higher strike offered by the call option plus the two premiums, make it even higher. And another lower break-even point is the put strike price, which is the lower strike minus two premiums, make it even lower. Okay. So the implication here is the spot rate has to be higher than this bigger break-even points to earn positive profit, or the spot rate has to be lower than this small break-even points in order to earn positive profit. Okay, so you can use this exercise, and you can spend 2 minutes to calculate the break-even points. So the first break-even point, which is call strike, that's 1.15 plus the two premiums added to 0.045. So together is a 0.1195. And another break-even spot rate is a put strike, which is 1.05 minus 0.045. So that's going to give you 1.005 for the break-even point. You also have some other, you have several critical points. One is one group is break-even points, and some other critical point is the call strike and the put strike, which makes you make the option at the money. This is a shape of a profit from a currency strangle. As you can see, it's like a strangle. Okay, so that's the hand gesture if you are a floor trader on the CME. Okay, so this is like you strangle yourself to death. So that's the shape of this curve. Okay, so you have three parts of it, and to short a strangle, it is exactly the opposite. So once again, you have 4 critical points, 2 break even, one here and another here, and another 2 would be the put strike and the call strike. So you can also calculate the profit for selling a call and selling a put at different spot rate. So the purpose of option strangles serve the same as the purpose of option straddles. If you are taking a long position, if you buy a strangle, you should expect the exchange rate has a high volatility. So either go very high or go very low, you make money. If you think the exchange rate is going to be very stable or has a low volatility, you should take the short position or you sell those two options. Okay. So if you look at the loss zone for Strangle and Straddle, here is a picture. The blue curve is a Strangle, the red curve is a Straddle. So you will see the Strangle actually has a higher, has more loss zone. Loss zone means the range of a spot rate that gives a negative profit. And for Straddle, you see the loss zone is right here from 1 to almost 1.1. And for Strangle, it's from 1 to 1.2. So which option combination is better? I would say Straddle is better because the loss zone is lower. You have a less chance to lose money. So Straddle is better. But why do these two financial derivatives coexist? Here I give you another straddle, which is the green curve. It has a higher strike price in the right straddle. Still, the loss zone for the green curve is smaller compared to the strangle. So the reason that they both exist is that the better one is more expensive, the worse one is cheaper. So strangle is the cheaper one. Strangle is a worse one because it has more loss zone compared to straddle. So if you compare a strangle and a straddle, the only difference here, okay, is the strike price for put option. The strangle put has a strike of 1.05 and the straddle put is 1.15. So which put option is better? Definitely this put option is better because put option again gives the buyer the right to sell, and if you can sell at a higher price, then that's better for you, for the buyer. So therefore this put option should be priced higher. Okay, just because the buyer can sell at a higher price, 1.15 is better than selling at 1.05. So this is a better put option. Okay. So it should be more expensive. And if you compare with another straddle, this time both strike price are 1.05 instead of both are at 1.15. The difference would lay in the call options. So 1.15 and 1.05, which is better? Well, again, the call option gives you the right to buy at a strike price. And if you can buy at 1.05, you should be happier than pay 1.15 for the same euro, right? So this is a better call option, and this is a worse call option, so it should be priced cheaper. So recall the determinant of a put premium and a call premium. So they are both determined by the time to maturity, as the T, and sigma stands for volatility. As I said, the options are insurance plans. If the time is longer or volatility is higher or more risky, then the insurance should definitely be worth more, should be priced higher, charge more premium. And also it's determined by the profitability of the put option and a call option. So this description were already offered in previous chapters. Okay, and you also have a bull spread and a bear spread. So definitely a bull spread is the type of option strategies that make money when the price is going up, and a bear spread would make money if the price is going down. Okay, so how do you construct a bull spread? You buy a call option with a lower strike price, and then you sell a call option with a higher strike price. Okay, the option with higher strike price, the call option with higher strike price basically gives the option buyer the right to buy at higher price, so it's not really that preferable than buying at a lower strike price. So this option should be worse, so it should be cheaper. So that's the one with the lower premium. The expectation here is there's an increased spot rate. So if spot rate goes too high, so what do you do with a call option? Definitely you want to exercise this call option, okay? And if spot rate goes too high, then this call option will also get exercised, okay? No doubt. Both options will get exercised, and then you would make a profit from the option with a low strike, okay? And you would suffer loss from option with a high strike, but the profit would overweight the loss. You may ask why that's the case. Why does the profit of a call option with a low strike would outweigh the loss? Well, it's because you when this call option is exercised, you will buy at a lower strike, and when this call option is exercised, the the buyer of this call option, you are not the buyer, you are the seller for this call option, would sell at this high strike to would buy at this high strike. That means as a writer, you should buy at this, you should sell at this high strike. Okay, so from the option you buy, you would pay low strike price, but from the option you write, you would sell at this high strike to the option buyer. So that's the story. So you buy low and sell high, you would make money. So if the spot rate gets lower than the low strike, no options would get exercised. Okay, either the option you buy or the option you write, none of them would get exercised. If spot rate gets higher than the high strike, then both options get exercised, and you would make the difference, make the money from the difference of the two strike prices. And definitely, you would have to pay a premium from the option you buy and collect a premium from the option you sell. If the spot rate is cut in the middle, then you should exercise the option you purchased, which has a lower strike, but you don't but the buyer of the option which you sold don't exercise it. Okay, so here is one example. So it tells you the two options, you buy one and sell another. Here are the strike and the premium for the first, strike and the premium for the second. You buy this one, you buy the first and sell the second. The one you buy has a lower strike price, the one you sell has a higher strike price. Okay, you can do some calculation here since we have done plenty exercise for this kind of options individually. So you shouldn't have any problems try to solve for the profit of buying a call or selling a call, or buying a put or selling a put under a given spot rate. So if you combine the profits for the two options, the net profit would be like this. And you can clearly tell that if the spot rate goes up, you would make money. If spot rate goes lower, you would lose money. So here is the shape of your profit. It's a spread. Okay, so spread from a negative 0.004 to positive 0.006. Okay, so that's a spread. And here is your profit zone. Here is your loss zone. Okay, if you cut in the middle, it's a linear. So if you compare a bull spread versus a just simply one call, then this is the profit curve for buying the first call option, which has lower strike price. And you can see that a bull spread is more stable. Okay, bull spread is more stable, and when the rate goes very low, your loss is limited from a bull spread. But for just one single call option, your loss is higher. Okay, but it also throw a curb on your up limit. So for a call option, potentially you can make a lot of a profit. There's no up limit, but for bull spread, you just have a very curbed and limited profit zone. Okay. You also have a bear spread, and I rather leave this for you to explore yourself. So that's the shape of a bear spread. So what will be required out of you from a bull spread, bear spread, and also a strangle and a straddle I mentioned earlier? So you should know that the purpose of these option combinations, why they are there, why do we need them? Okay, clearly the strangle and the straddle exist when the rate is getting very volatile or getting very stable. So you can either be on the buyer side or seller side of a strangle or straddle. And one is more expensive, one is cheaper. The cheaper one has a larger loss zone. And also for bear spread, it makes more money for you when the rate is higher, but it's not as much as buying a single call option. And a bull spread would make money for you when the rate gets very low, but it's not as much as you can get from buying a put option. But this is a very stable situation, meaning that you don't have a wild loss, you don't have a wild profit either. Okay, so here's a combination of a bear spread and selling a call option. Okay, so you can see on the upside, the profit from selling one call option is higher, but the loss for selling that call option is a pretty bad. All right, but for the bear spread, it is quite limited. So bear spread offers a security tool compared to playing just only one option. Okay, and you should also be able to solve for the break-even point of bull spread and the bear spread. You have a break-even point. You only have one break-even point basically, because there's only one intercept with the horizontal axis. Okay, so when your profit is 0, so that's the only break-even point. Okay, so you force the profit equal to 0, and you solve for the spot rate. That's the spot minus the low strike minus the premium of the low, which is your pay. Low means the low strike plus the premium of the high strike. Okay, so that's how you solve it. And since everything is made take home now, if you have a question like this is where you'll find the formula. That's the formula for bull spread, and it's the formula for bear spread. Another types of option is cylinder options. This is again a transaction involving two options, usually a call and a put at the same premium, but you are simultaneously sell one and buy another. So initially there's no cost because they both price the same. You buy a premium, and then you buy an option, you pay a premium, you write an option, you collect a premium. So these two premiums compensate each other. So for the for these cylinder positions, there's no initial cost. But what's the point? Why do we need cylinder options? Let's say we have two options. You buy a put option on a euro at a strike of 1.2650, and then you sell a call option on the euro at a strike of 1.3200. Those are at the same premium. Okay, so initially you don't have any cost concern or profit from the premium. So here is the possible spot rate. It could go very low or go very high. So if the spot rate stays the same, there's no cost for you. And again, how to calculate each individual profit from one option. This is a required knowledge, and we have done plenty of exercise on it, so you should know how. You can spend like 10 minutes to verify each of these profit from either a put option or a call option, buying a put or selling a call. Okay, and here is the profit from the entire standard option strategy. So what we really want to focus here is if the spot rate stays stable from 1.265 to 1.30 to 320, which does not go very low or go very high, you make no profit. Okay, you make no profit. If the spot rate goes very low, you have a profit because you are buying a put option and you're selling a call option. Both make money when the spot rate is low. And if the spot rate goes very high, both options would lose money. So what we really chase is this zero profit if the exchange rate stays stable.